Hello everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone 13 Pro and compare it against the iPhone 13 and see which particular iPhone is a better one for you. Now both these devices are great, they have a lot of capability and tons of quality, but I will tell you there's probably one that's significantly better, and I would probably say the 13 Pro is probably the better one here. But if you want to pick up either one of these iPhones, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both these particular iPhones, the iPhone 13 on the front has a 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display, and it's a fairly good-looking panel. It's 6.1 inches. It's about the same size as the iPhone 15s. You can see that it still has the notch, but the 13 Pro has a notch too. But I really do like the way this particular device looks. I generally do think that this is a very, very good-looking device. It looks very nice. You have a little tiny bit of bezel around it, but it's really not even that big of a deal. You have obviously the top, of this particular phone, bottom, everything, but still a very good feeling phone nonetheless. The iPhone 13 Pro is a heavier phone slightly, so it still has that 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display too. You have the notch up top, which is nice, a little bit of bezel all around it, but the difference here is that this one is giving you a 120 Hz display. This is a significant difference. Having a ProMotion display means that things load and perform at a much higher level, I feel like. Things are much faster, and it's definitely a smoother display overall than a 60 Hz display too, which is another really, really cool thing. So this is another really awesome thing going on for this particular device too, which is really cool. So definitely the iPhone 13 Pro has a better display. In terms of the rest of the body, another thing, a really big thing to keep in mind is that the build qualities are slightly different. You can see that the iPhone 13 Pro has this kind of reflective material. The iPhone 13 has this, standard material on the side. So it is another really cool thing going on here too, which is really, really cool. Now, on top of that, another big thing going on here is that with the top, not much going on. At the bottom, you're having lightning ports on both, which again is very cool. But I really like this reflective material on the iPhone 13 Pro. It's a really, really nice thing. And you're getting SIM card trays on both these iPhones, which is really nice. On the back side, you're getting your triple camera setup on the back of the iPhone 13 Pro. On the iPhone 13, dual camera setup. So both look pretty good here too. There's, again, not a lot to complain about here either. You have the LiDAR sensor on the iPhone 13 Pro, wireless charging on both. You're also getting, your MagSafe capability too, which is another really cool thing. And I definitely do think when it comes down to both these devices, very good stuff here. I don't really have that much to complain about here, and I do think this is a very, very good feeling phone on both. But the iPhone 13 Pro has my heart because it does have that, frosted glass back, which is genuinely very nice. I love having that frosted glass back, and it makes this phone feel so much more premium than the standard glass back on the iPhone 13. So this in and of itself is another super cool thing going on for both these devices. Both of them have IP certification and a lot of other stuff across the board. So when it comes down to that stuff, I definitely would say both these devices do a really good job from that standpoint. Now in terms of software, both these phones are still supported with software as of this point. I really don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon. Both these devices are going to be killing it in terms of the software department. Is there one that's going to perform way better than the other one? I'm not 1,000% too sure, but both of them as of this point are still supported with software, and I don't think there's going to be that big of a difference when it comes down to that software standpoint because, these two devices have basically the same chipset. So that right there is another very, very big thing to kind of keep in mind there as well. So that kind of covers it up there. Now let's go and do a speed comparison between both these devices. Now the iPhone 13 has that Apple A15 body chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM, where the iPhone 13 Pro has that Apple A15 body chip inside of it with 6 gigabytes of RAM. So let's go see which one's the faster iPhone between both. Okay, there we go. Let's go and hop all the apps in the background. Phone calls 3, 2, 1. 13 Pro is here, 13 is here. Music 3, 2, 1. Okay, I think the 13 actually may have been a little bit faster there slightly. Let's go and get into settings 3, 2, 1. About the same thing. Let's go into the app stores 3, 2, 1. Okay, the iPhone 13 Pro I think was slightly faster here, but still some good stuff, not really massive differences. Scrolling through, there's not really too much craziness going on, kind of the same thing. Hopping out of both of these, let's go into their mail application 3, 2, 1. About the same thing too. We have some other apps we can kind of test out. iTunes Store 3, 2, 1. Okay, a little bit of a pop-up difference here, but let's go and hop out of here. Let's go and try, I guess we have some of these third-party apps we can try as well. Let's do Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. Okay, a little bit of a different pop-up here, but that's okay. Now, with these pop-ups, I'm not 100% too sure what this is going to mean for the... It looks like this was still loading, and it looks like they loaded around the same time, which is good. I thought that was going to have a much bigger impact, but it kind of really didn't look like it, to be honest. So you can kind of see here that the iPhone 13 Pro kind of was the faster one here, but definitely not like the biggest deal in the world. Hopping out of here, let's go into the actual game. I don't, again, think it's going to be that big of a difference, but still kind of fun to test. You can see it did glitch up on both, though. That was something I was not expecting. Hopping out of both of these real quick. Let's go into stack. 3, 2, 1. And again, these pop-ups are so annoying. I don't know why there's so many pop-ups. I've used this phone for like 30 years. I don't know why it's giving me this, but you can see right here again, the iPhone 13 Pro, kind of the faster one here. The iPhone 13 a little bit slower. Again, not the biggest deal in the world, but just another small thing. Scrolling through here, kind of the same thing going on as well. Not really that massive of a difference. Hopping out of both of these. Let's go into Snake vs. Blocks. 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 13 Pro, I think, was the faster one. The iPhone 13 a little bit slower. Again, not that big of a deal. You can kind of see what's going on here as well. Basically the same kind of thing. Hopping out of here, let's go and try one more. Let's go and get into the standard temple run, if I have it. No, I don't. Subway Surfers then, that is. 3, 2, 1. Now again, I'm going to get into so many pop-ups on the 13 Pro, but it's whatever. I will tell you though, in my personal opinion, both these phones are actually pretty fast. I don't know if there's like this massive difference between these two, but I do kind of say that between both, the iPhone 13 Pro is probably one that should have been faster more times than not. It's just these pop-ups got in the way, so it's just like, what are we going to do about it? You know what I mean? But beyond that, both these devices are great. And from a performance perspective, both of them have a lot of capability, which is very, very nice. So that kind of covers it up there. Now, in terms of the camera side of things, both these have very good cameras for the most part. Again, there's not really that much to complain about here for the most part. Dual camera setup on the iPhone 13, triple camera setup on the iPhone 13 Pro, wide ultra-wide telephoto lenses. And I do think that on the iPhone 13 Pro, as you could probably tell, it is the significantly better camera. 4K at 60 on the back and the front of both these, which is nice. The 13 though and the 13 Pro have a lot of overlap, which is honestly very nice for these types of cameras. With the iPhone 13, you have the standard type of lens, like I said, 4K at 60 on the front and the back. You have photo mode, video mode, cinematic, slow mode, time lapse. You have portrait mode and panorama mode as well. So this is still like a fairly good camera. Again, there's not like an insane amount of things I would complain about with this type of camera. It's a very, very good lens when it kind of comes down to it. With the iPhone 13 Pro, this is one of the better cameras I've ever owned on an iPhone. This was actually the last iPhone that I just owned, and I had a really good time with it. 0.5x zoom there, 15x actually zoom on the inside. A very good thing going on for this particular iPhone as well. Video mode, cinematic mode on this particular iPhone as well, which again, is just an enhanced version of portrait mode video. It's just a really cool thing. And this is in and of itself another really awesome thing going on for this particular iPhone too. So when it kind of comes down to it, I will probably tell you when it comes down to the 13 and the 13 Pro, I would definitely say the iPhone 13 Pro is a significantly better phone, I would say, than the iPhone 13. You're getting a better display, 120 Hz ProMotion display, better build quality, better camera, and it's a really expensive feeling phone. The 13 feels fine too, but the 13 Pro is definitely a big upgrade coming from the iPhone 13, and it makes, in my opinion, a lot of sense to go from something like the iPhone 13 to a 13 Pro. It doesn't really make sense to go from a 13 Pro to the 13, but this way makes a lot of sense. And if you want to get the 13, I mean, this one's available in the brand new market. You can buy it from Apple, $599 or whatever. It's a good iPhone, and it's a great iPhone, don't get me wrong, but the difference here is big. This iPhone is so great, but if you can swing for a 13 Pro in the used market, I would probably recommend it because that is a significantly better phone than the iPhone 13. So that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.